Welcome back to week 2 of Hell's Kitchen. I'm your host, Byroni OB, and today we will be speaking of my week 2 matchup versus the one and only KillerFsh. The man that I've seen put countless hours into modded Skyblock. He is a GOAT. Anyways, let's get straight into it. I've got 20 minutes before I clock in for work. So, fighting the Sun team this week. A lot of big threats you have to deal with there. Primarina, Roaring Moon, Zard Y. Biggest threat being that Zard Y plus Roaring Moon combo that would absolutely rip my team in half. Just grab them. You know, like what the Seahawks defense was doing last night to the Patriots? Yeah, it would be that. It would be just... my game plan for this week. Deny weather and kill Roaring Moon. I will be straight up, I didn't have much of a plan outside of that, but I had a lot of ways to facilitate it. So we'll start with this. Choice Scarf Landorus. Look at this team. Where is his answer to a Scarf Lando? He didn't have one. So, we did a Scarf Lando with EQ, Rock Slide, Explosion, and U-Turn. I almost ran Superpower to hit Roaring Moon, but I realized it'd be better to have Explosion. And a last-minute thing that clicked for me is that Explosion always killed a Venusaur that was a little bulky, and the Scarf allowed it to outspeed if it was bulkier and chlorophylled, and I do believe I always lived one. But I also knew that if Venusaur was out, right, because you can bring your other Mega and not Mega it, I was always expecting him to click Growth there. He didn't get to do that, though. He was immediately murdered by Explosion. Dragapult, just, I stopped doing some fancy shit, and I was like, fuck it, Dragon Dance, D-Darts, Shadow Ball, U-Turn. D-Dance allows me to get out of some sticky situations, and allows me to just kind of shred through his team, and Shadow Ball being there just in case Dragon Darts couldn't hit something. U-Turn there for general pivoting. Yes, I knew I took unnecessary Life Orb damage, but at the same time giving me more pivots out into my threatening Pokemon. Awesome. MVP of this match, other than the Explosion Lando, has got to be Licky Licky. Just Cloud9 denying weather, denying a lot of those special effects that come in with weather is awesome. Nothing crazy, though. Wish, Toxic, Protect, Knockoff, Spadef, just to eat some hits, and that's exactly what he did. He'd come in, he'd deny weather, he would fucking click Wish, Knockoff, Toxic, something, and just eat a hit and continue living. Mega Gallade here, also another big threat. This one was not SD. I never was able to find a window in this matchup where I could click SD, so I went with the smarter decision and was just 4 attacks. 4 attacks that his team really struggles to switch into. Close combat is something that I just kind of had for Magneton and Roaring Moon. Shadow Sneak to pick off anything that got out of hand. Like Iron Moth is one of those Pokemon that could get really out of hand, but I could get it low enough to Shadow Sneak. Psycho Cut just to hit some stuff, just generically good stab. And Triple Axle for the Gliscor or the Venusaur. Primarina, just a Calm Mind, literally just Calm Mind 3 attacks. Perfect set. Sub, no, just Calm Mind, Draining Kiss, Ice Beam, Surf. I don't really need to explain why this is, like, good. Okay, Liquid Voice was kind of dumb. I should have been Torrent here, but at the time I had Psychic Noise over Surf here. But I realized I just valued the more damage than denying stuff recovery because this team just kills you fast. So yeah, that's what it was. And then the last Pokemon, Volcarona, I told you would be coming. I mean, look at it. It was slightly Fizz Def, and always lived. It was full HP, full speed, because you don't need Spatak investment when you're running base 135 and you're running Quiver Dance. Like, you don't need to do that. Don't let people fucking like say, oh, you need max special attack. No, because if you can live longer to get up more Quiver Dances, you're in a better spot time and time again. So yeah, that was the team for this week. Let's get into the game. So we start off with an interesting lead. Lando and Torkoal here. Just the way that this played out, I'm pretty sure he thought this was like a standard lead set. That's why he went Hatchram to try and predict a Stealth Rock here. But with Hatchram and Team Preview, I'm not clicking Stealth Rock until it's gone because I don't want rocks on my end. Well, I don't really care about them, but I would rather not be taking Chip. So then I go out into Licky Licky here. Cloud9 immediately turning off the Sun. The Hatchram's going to Baton Pass out into Magneton. These two were like the main things on screen for most of the match, right? This was the matchup that kept happening. I don't know why. It's just funny to me to see Licky Licky and Magneton come out. Toxic here, I'd rather not get Toxic on Licky Licky, but it's fine. I get to take the Magnetons of Violite. And by the way, it does have Levitate in this league, so there's a reason why I am careful. Switching Lando here, I could have done this cleaner. I could have just stayed on Licky Licky to try and scout what he was going to do next. But I want the Landorus here to try and like threaten an Earthquake, even though I knew he was Levitate. I don't know what I was thinking here, but I immediately get a U-turn out because I thought he would be threatened and try and switch. I go from Lando back out into Licky Licky. He's going to click Flash Cannon. The Spadef drop doesn't matter too much. Licky Licky's just doing fine. Magneton's going to Volt Switch here, and I do believe I click Wish here. So Wish to keep myself healthy. He goes out into Magneton. I switch out into Volcarona, predicting to eat a hit. That's why I wished preemptively. Thunderwave here would be catastrophic. Dude, KillerFsh, I'm so sorry. You did not get a full para when it mattered. And this Volcarona proceeded to just dance in front of you and not care. So then everybody was like, oh, that's a roll, that's a roll, that's a roll. It's not. Let's go back a turn here. So Sun's not up, so he doesn't get the Photosynthesis boost, which is huge. Which I prepped for with this exactly. The max HP, 40 defense, and enough speed to outspeed Gliscor. So yeah, this was kind of insane. Like the knockoff, I live it, and the Flame Buddy proc, just this Roaring Moon was no longer a threat to me. And now I'm just sitting at a nice little bit of speed and Spatak here. I outsped the Charizard. I did a nice chunk to it. Got the Spadef drop. Eat the Flame Charge. That's fine. Him being +1 doesn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things with Primarina out here. He switches off of it. I hard switch from Primarina into Licky Licky to get that Cloud9 off. Well, that, and because I just don't want to leave Primarina in versus this fucking threat. He goes Venusaur. I click Wish. He's going to click Growth here. Licky Licky can't handle it. And then this is where we get to... I got the Wish. It didn't matter too much, but it was just a preemptive Wish. And then boom. Venusaur done. So the two biggest threats on this team, the thing that would snowball me, Roaring Moon, Venusaur, taken care of. They're done. Now the game plan from here is just whittle down these bulkier Pokemon like Hattrem and Magneton and Torkoal. And then just don't let Charizard get too many speed boosts off because it can become a huge threat. So then we have Dragapult here. Dragapult's finally coming in to do shit. I don't really care about rocks anymore now that Volcarona's just dead, right? None of my Pokemon care. Licky Licky comes out here, takes a Stealth Rock. This is fine. Just clicking a Wish here into the Overheat is fine by me. So then this Torkoal is weakened, and then I get to send out Primarina here, and then this allows me to do a Calm Mind. Just because if he's going... The Yawn does fuck me up a little bit, but I was just hoping to see a Magneton switch in here, maybe because I know I could whittle it down. Dragapult here because the Yawn kind of fucked me over. Magneton, don't even want to get I get T-Wave by it here because I want to go for the kill. But Dragapult's so fast that it genuinely doesn't matter at this point. Also getting a Dragon Dance off allows me to outspeed basically everything that's left here. Life Orb here. Dragon Darts into Torkoal just to try and kill it there. Not able to. The Overheat miss is bad, but at the end of the day, I will say it doesn't matter that much because Primarina's still alive. It didn't matter all that much. It doesn't feel great after watching all the missed paras. But other than that, it's like so fine. Shadow Ball here. I get full parried on the switch, which would have normally been bad. But since it was on a switch, it doesn't matter. I get a clean switch here. And basically it comes down to Primarina and Torkoal. Primarina takes out the Torkoal. And then that leaves Gallade and Charizard. So at this point, I know I always win, right? Because Gallade in the back is at full, and it can kill with a Psycho Cut from this range. But Primarina, being the GOAT, eats a fucking Solar Beam, and then surfs, and then guarantees, like, even, like, if he gets a +1 here, I can still Shadow Sneak him. And I just keep clicking Surf, right? Instead of trying to get greedy and Calm Mind and shit, we're just clicking Surf to keep him low. And then at this range, I know Mega Gallade always kills, it always outspeeds. I was exactly enough speed to do that. Psycho Cut for game. So what could I have done better there? Personally, I think just letting Landorus get toxic for no reason was pretty bad. But other than that, I think I played that game really well. I didn't overthink on prepping for this week. It was a very simple matchup with a very simple game plan. It was a rough matchup, don't get me wrong. This team is very scary. KillerFsh has an insane team. But I have a lot of tools to help deal with it. I have a lot of good checks. So it was really just a game of keeping my pieces alive. And like a little bit of luck from the T-Wave non-paras, but it's so fine. Either way. But it was a fun game. I had a lot of fun playing it. It was a quick one too. 30 turns that's with how Pokemon can be sometimes, 30 turns is not a lot. So yeah, it was just a fun match, and I look forward to hopefully maybe getting to play you again, KillerFsh. But other than that, I look forward to week 3 where I fight Jumpy Mr. Big Soda himself. And dude, I'm telling you now, I'm very excited for this matchup. It is. I thought I broke it. I thought I beat it already. And now that I've been mocking, I might be fucking cooked. I'm not going to lie. But thank you for tuning in. Toronto Ranchums are now 1-1 with a -2 differential. Hopefully I get to pick this up in the next couple of weeks. But it's only week 2, so who knows? Bye for now, and I hope to see you guys next week for week 3.